someone wrote me a Q, and if you want to do so, feel free to. Do you know how you do it? You write down things in comments and then you press send. I just found that out. Do you not understand how YouTube works? Do you know that you're on that at the moment, sweetheart? But yeah, look, so she contacted me and asked, how do you deal with jealousy and how do you deal with people being jealous of you? And that's a good question for everybody to think about, isn't it? In my case, it's very easy because in my job, my competition is fucking Vice and the ABC and BuzzFeed. And what a great time for this question to come out as well, because I just had this huge Twitter stoush with them because they were mad at the fact that I brought up the fact that they're getting fired and felt really happy about it. Still feel happy to this day. This has been the best week of my entire life. I've been celebrating, and then to find out that Vice is also laying off. I mean, all we've got is junking. We've got a perfect trifecta, and then just around the corner, you can tell. But honestly, they all just started attacking me and had nothing. If you can go back and read it for yourself, because pretty much I was just pointing out the same things that I do in my videos. You're completely compromised by corporate interests. You don't give a shit. You're such a sociopath slash narcissist slash moron that you actually just sit there and think that you're doing God's work while you actively make society worse by spreading lies that benefit the most evil corporations on earth, and by extension makes you an evil, dumb pawn. And they had nothing in response to that except for, enjoy dressing up in shit wigs. Yeah, I do. And having an audience that is 100 times the size of yours. It's really good. Thank you very much. That's all they had. That and saying, more like unfriendly Geordies. I mean, what a bunch of NPC cucks. I always thought that meme was a bit exaggerated, but no, those people really do exist, and it's kind of true. They are all loser cat ladies, and they do have a bunch of cats in their photos, and they clearly are not going to reproduce. And the reason is because they're bitter, angry people that are extremely self-obsessed and self-focused, and then they've all just made this, ironic union around it to protect these little crap jobs. But as soon as the investment drives up, all of them dissipate because they have no talent. So, this is what I'm saying. If people are jealous of you, wear it as a badge of honor. That's a really, really nice shirt to wear. It's so nice walking through life knowing that there's people that hate you purely because they know that you're better than them at what they wish that they were good at. Honestly, I can't describe the feeling to you. It's actually what motivates me in the morning. It's just like, time to start and hate us once more. So that part just basically explains itself. When people are attacking you, just look at the criticism, and it becomes very obvious very quickly if they have something or they don't, because if they do have something that is true, it kind of sticks at your craw a bit. You watch it and you have their response of just having this inane pterodactyl yell of going, that's all they have. That is all they have, because they know what you're saying is true. Deep down in there. I like to call it the heart. That's where it is. That's where it hurts when it's true. And on top of that, I think it's a good thing when that happens as well, because look, most people get extremely defensive. And I'm not at all above that. I always get defensive when someone says something that I know deep down is true about me. But once that feeling subsides, look back at the criticism and think, I can actually improve on that. Those people never will, though, obviously, because they're not really people. They're just sacks of shit with skin around them. So that's all pretty self-explanatory. If you are getting attacked and the attacks are baseless, just sit there and do this. Yeah. Feel good about it. That means you've arrived. If you have haters, that means you are like at the peak of your field pretty much. But if you're jealous of someone else, that means that there's room for improvement. And I think you know that as well. Because I always have this as well, because obviously there's a lot of clickbait journalists and young journalists that are always angry at me, and it's pretty much because I get way more views than them. But because I'm more akin to a comedian, right? I'm not a journalist. I just have to do their job because they're so unbelievably bad at it that someone has to do it. Ideally, I'd just like to be one of those guys who's like, you ever notice when your girlfriend don't get angry at you when you lie down? What's up with that? I'd love to do that for a living, but I just can't because it's just so enraging that they can sit there and be like, is Malcolm Turnbull a DILF? That's politics. So I'm kind of sucked into that world, but I feel more akin to comedians. So the people that I get jealous is I never get jealous of journalists. Jesus. That is like getting jealous that a mosquito has to suck blood for a living. I'm jealous of people like, say, Neil Kolhatkar or Isaac Butterfield, who are able to accumulate way more views than me. And every time they do, I feel that immediate pang of just like, man, fuck Neil Kolhatkar, man. All he did was put up a video that was a minute. Does he have any idea how long my videos take to research? I have to dress up in all kinds of different wigs. This cunt only wears one wig. But why is that jealousy there? It's because I know that he's doing it better. That's why he's got 1 million views. It's because he understands the format better than I do. He understands what relates to people more. I don't. I live inside Goku's fog training thing. I don't understand what people want. Clearly, right? When people always accuse me of playing to a bass, what bass? Let's go through the... If I was playing to a bass, this would be my bass. Both major parties suck. ABC is mad. Everyone in the world is a racist and a sexist. Oh, I've got this mishmash of views. Why? Because I see the world through my own eyes, and obviously that's going to attract a certain demographic of people, but you could argue that you would be able to attract a bigger demographic if you understand demographics, right? Now, I'm not saying that Neil Kolhatkar does that, but the thing is that, like, he understands what the net is as a format. He understands that really well, and as such, he plays to it really well. Neil Kolhatkar is a genius marketer, right? I am not. That is not my expertise. Neil Kolhatkar is really smart and savvy at understanding what's going to get a response, and it's done nothing but wonders for his career, and his career has excelled very far as a result. And the massive reason is, as a result of meeting this dude, he's the most unjealous dude you will ever meet in your life. He's always giving props to other people. I love that so much because, truth be told, I'm a pretty petty man, but he is always looking for the good in other people. That's a really good thing. That's a pretty vacuous sentence. He's looking for good things, that's good, right? Well, it's not bad, is it? And so, there's obviously something to learn from that, but this overall general thing is that he's really good at the internet. He's also a really good stand-up as well. Every time I go and see him, I'm always just sitting there being like, that classic cut to of a woman in a stand-up show, and then they're just shaking their head at something that shouldn't have been said that they're laughing at, being like, that's me in a Neil show. Go and see it. Go and see it. He's a good comic. And he gets better every year. That's the other thing, because you can tell that he is a conscious man. That's the other thing about all these other comedians that are always just again, because we both came from that environment, right? Both him and I looked at the general stand-up scene and went, nah, I think this is a bit cannibalistic. I don't know if this is the best way to prop up a career, is just seeing the same 10 comedians that are going nowhere, all working at Harvey Norman and pissed off at the fact that they're working at Harvey Norman, not laughing at your jokes, and every time you bomb on stage laughing at your jokes. I don't know if that's exactly, supportive. So we both naturally gravitated away from that scene, right? Because that's the whole thing, it's just that crabs in a barrel thing. That's the other reason why you just can't respond to people seriously when they're jealous at you, because if you do, you go down to their level, and eventually your mind kind of melds around theirs, because they are sucking you into their reality. You understand about realities and how that works? It's just, everyone is thinking about different things. You obviously think that you're only I don't know what your job is. Say that you work at BP, right? So say you're one of those Indian guys that is constantly on his Bluetooth just talking to his mum, I'm assuming. Why won't their mums ever hang up on them? They have a job. Those really relaxed dudes that are just sitting there and they're just going, hey man, was it out of 12? Yeah, okay, yep, here you go. Those guys, right? In their mind, because that's what's happening, is there's just like some mum just sitting there being like, you don't bring up their family enough, even though he's talking to them every fucking day. And he's thinking about the fact that he's probably got to do his engineering degree. There's all these other pissed off customers. So his life is in that world. Now, Assume that somebody came in and put a gun to his head and said, give me all your fucking cash. It would be pretty stupid if you sat there just being like, yeah, just hold on. Ma'am, somebody's robbing the bank at the... I can't talk at the moment. They're robbing me as we speak. But hold on, one more second, sir. Okay, bye. Alright, here's all the money. Obviously, in that scenario, you should be sucked into their reality. But the thing is, why give your reality to people who are weaker than you? That's the other reason that you just cannot get subsumed into this jealousy. So, that's one element of it. But the other thing is to recognize when jealousy is happening to you. Because again, my criticisms of Neil's videos, for instance, they're completely unfounded. They're objectively funny films. He's really good at character acting. He's got like a good observational mind. It's just that like they're shorter, and that's great because everybody just wants to see short shit. Because I still haven't registered in my mind that most people have bullshit jobs, and the last thing they want to get home is just sitting there and be like, right, sit down. We're going to talk about some possible loopholes in the ATO that, you know, they might be legal at the moment, but should they be? Listen to this 10-minute explanation about it. I still haven't figured that out yet. Neil obviously has. That's why his videos get more views, right? I'm trying to learn these lessons in my own stupid moronic way of increasing how long my videos are, but also making short form videos as well. I'm moving into that realm. So that's what it is. It's just like when you are jealous of someone, try and figure out why you are jealous of them. Don't just sit there and be like, 'cause they're shit, which is what most people do. And you can see it because just really write down the reasons that you are jealous of that person. What is it? They're talentless. They're fucking not good at what they do. I'm better. If it's that shit, they're probably better than you. Right? The thing is, like, if you really look at it, so say with that instance, right, why would I be jealous of, like, Isaac Butterfield or Neil or someone like that? Which I'm not, by the way. You know, it's just that first instant pain is just like, fuck, more views to me, fuck him! But when I actually look at it, I'm just always like, no, it's just mad content, good on him. You know? So, what I want you to do is just sit there and write down why you are jealous of them. What is it? And in my instance, I'm always just jealous of somebody who gets more views, because that's the realm that I inhabit. But the realm that you inhabit is going to be different. And so, if you write down things and then the criticisms are not apt. So for instance, when people always say to me, you're just jealous that you don't have a job at the ABC. No, I've turned down numerous jobs from the ABC, and the reason I have is because I think they're shit. And the reason I think they're shit is because they're bought and sold puppets. And they're bought and sold puppets that sit there and try and get you to feel sorry for them, and everybody always goes, yeah, but they're being constricted by the Liberals. Yeah, but they choose to be restricted by the Liberals. No one's forcing them to be a fucking journalist. It's not like being a garbo. They should go and get a job as being a garbo, because that would actually be a service to society. I know it'd be a complete reversal for them to actually have to pick up trash as opposed to espouse it, but the reasons that I hate the ABC is because they are damaging society. That's the reason I hate them. There is no way that the Liberal government could have got a second term if the ABC did a job. It talks to 11 million people a week. The Labor Party lost by 30,000 votes. If they sat there instead of defending and playing down penalty rates, if they talked about what they have actually done to the economy, which is the whole reason Australia ostensibly elected them, if you talk about what they've done to the environment, if they talk about what they've done to schools and hospitals, none of which they ever do, as I've shown in numerous videos, and the most recent in the Royal Banking Commission, they just sat there and went, oh, lesson learned, yeah, Ken Henry seems pretty sorry for himself, so I'm not going to question him at the moment. Now, the reason you're not going to question him is because he's a big sponsor of the Liberals, and you don't want to piss off the Liberals because you want to keep your $300,000 a year job that is paid for out of the taxes of the people that Ken Henry ripped off. You're an evil cunt, Lee Sales. So that's the reason that I hate them, right? There is legitimate reasons to hate them. That's fine. That's useful. That's a fuel for you. But when you are jealous of someone purely because they're doing better than you, that is not useful. That just makes you a bitter, petty person because it makes you focus on what you don't have in life. What you should be focusing on constantly in life is, how can I get that? That's the two major questions that millionaires ask themselves. There were studies into this. They ask themselves two questions that the majority of the public doesn't ask, which is, what do I want and how do I get it? Over and over again. Those two questions. And when you're sitting there going, that guy's got what I want, but fuck him because he's a piece of shit, might make you feel good in the moment, but it's damaging your future doing that. It's the same thing with these BuzzFeed journos that just got sacked. They could sit there getting angry at the fact that I'm gloating about it, and I will continue to do so. I really think that you deserve way harsher shit than that happened to you. But still not so happy about it. It's so good talking about, jealousy's a sin, and then also at the same time being like really smug. But look, they could get mad about that shit, or they could figure out, what do they do from here? Maybe if they, instead of selling out all credibility that they have and just going for easy nepotistic connections into evil companies that they're owed because their parents are owed favours. It's so ironic that all these journalists are always lecturing the country about privilege. Just some guy in Maitland who's a forklift operator being like, oh my God, a white male, so privileged. Whereas these cunts are always from extremely rich families. Always. And they're sitting there talking about, oh my God, no one has sympathy for me just because I shit on everyone else in society, and when I lose, nobody cares for me. That's the world that they inhabit. It's disgusting. It's so self-focused. But that's what jealousy is. It makes you focus on yourself, and it makes you feel sorry for yourself. That's one of the truest things that has ever been said by that Japanese writer whose name always escapes me, but the one that just said that self-pity is the realm of assholes. And that's what jealousy is. It's just another head in the whatever that Hydra thing. Yeah, that's what it was. It was an inflatable clown monster that had a bunch of heads that every time you cut it off, it just go. I think that's how Greek mythology works. It's been a while since I read it. 2 years ago. So what you have to do when you are jealous of someone is just assess why you were jealous of someone, because in there is a key to your success. In there is a key if you look for it. Because if you are jealous of someone, it's because they have something you don't want. And probably you haven't really admitted to yourself yet that you want that thing. And it's okay to want it. It's so gross thinking about some rapist sitting there like, really? In most instances it is, obviously. So you should be writing that down. And think about it now. That's your homework this week. God, I've been lazy on that one, haven't I? I've gone from a high school teacher to one of your university tutorial dudes that's just been like, yeah, honestly, I'm just waiting until I finish my PhD. So, what I want you to write down is someone that you're jealous of, and then I want you to write down why. Adios. Oh, and write down questions so I don't have to bother thinking about what videos I've got to do next. And like this video. Make sure you like this video. Other people go, I just like it because I like the content. Aren't you a doll? But the rest of you lazy pricks, you know who you are. Do what I told you to do. And then, fuck off. And watch another video on this channel. See ya.